What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Wyoming Wednesdays. Thanks for checking out this video, and yeah, so anyway, on to the story. So this would have been in 2014. One of my friends came and visited in the first place I lived in Wyoming, and so we went, and it was a great time from the start. So he was flying out, and he was flying into Billings, Montana, which was like about an hour from where I was living at the time. And so I figured, that'd be the quickest and cheapest way to get there from where I was living at the time. It was a little more expensive to fly into the airport I lived at, but whatever. So he got from New York to Chicago, and everything just went to crap from there. And he had delays, so he ended up missing the flight from Denver to Billings because they ended up being so delayed off of the Chicago to Denver that it just got screwed up. I've never had luck with Chicago. Chicago is the one place I hate flying out of, at least O'Hare. Midway, I've had some luck, but O'Hare, I've never had a time where I actually made it through on time. I think I spent, off topic, another story that'll be coming probably in the next couple of weeks, I spent like 20 some odd hours in the O'Hare airport, so I think I have reason to not like it too much. So anyway, so he was supposed to get in at like 10 or 11 at night, so I ended up leaving at like 9 o'clock or something like that to get up there. And so I was up there waiting around, and then he was like, oh, I'm delayed, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. I'll just hang out here. You'll get here sometime tonight. And so I hung out at like Walmart or something like that because, by the time all this got done, it was like 11, 12 o'clock at night, and it was like not really anywhere to really hang out. So I went to Walmart, chilled out there, and by about 1 o'clock in the morning, it was apparent he wasn't getting in that night because they canceled all the flights, and everyone was just pretty much screwed. So by this time, it's like, I'm not going to waste $100 for a hotel room. So I just chilled out in the Walmart parking lot, and the next morning at like 6 in the morning, I went into Walmart, grabbed, stupid, those little Wisp disposable toothbrush, all that, deodorant, all that. And I got up to the cash register. I checked out, and the girl just kind of looks at me and takes a Walmart application and puts it into my bag. And I'm like, I don't need that. I'm like, I didn't want to sound like an ass, so I didn't really say anything, but it's like, I make a little bit more than you do, but I'm a cheapskate. At 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm not wasting money on a hotel room for, 4 or 5 hours. So anyway, so I'm up in Billings waiting for my friend to get there. And so we're texting back and forth, and I'm trying to figure out, because he's in Denver at this time, and Denver from Billings, I believe, is like 8 hours. And I was like, that's a long drive to, because I would just go and pick them up, but I was trying to figure out, I'm like, well, ask them. I started naming out all the different airports in Wyoming. I was like, can you get in here? No. 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 Because also the Billings one, they weren't going to get him in for like another day or something like that because it was so backed up from all the other people that got screwed on the flights. So, yeah. So I'm naming them off, and it's like, no. And then I was like, Jackson Hole. And they're like, yeah. Get a flight in there in like 2 hours. And I was like, all right, cool. That was like, it's not far from where I live. It's just you got to go through Yellowstone to get there. So you go about 40 miles per hour through Yellowstone, which is understandable. There's bison and lots of wildlife that idiots going 40 miles per hour still hit. And those things will wreck your car. So anyway, so it was probably about 5 hours from Billings once you add in like all the slow driving and all that. So finally met up with him, you know, a day later. But, you know, we ended up checking out Yellowstone and all that. And I'm sure there'll be more stories to come after this. But I think I'll just leave it off at that for this part of the story. And, yeah. So, I don't know. Go into more of a little thing about Wyoming. You know, anyone that ever like finds out that I lived in Wyoming or whatnot, or, you know, I always have people like, oh yeah, you know, was it worth it? It was well worth it. If you ever have the chance to move anywhere out west, or even, you know, anywhere south, anywhere that you're not living right now, I fully recommend it, you know, because you're not going to get those experiences where you live. And, you know, I enjoyed every minute that I was in the 2 places I lived in Wyoming. And sometimes, you know, it doesn't seem like it, you know, you have boring days and all that, but in a whole, it was the greatest, you know, idea I ever had in my life to go and take this opportunity. You know, most people are like, oh, how'd you do it? It's like, you know, I moved out there with what was in my, you know, what I could fit in my truck, that's what went out with me. I didn't waste money on a U-Haul because that was like almost $2,000 plus gas. So, you know, I think it's best just to sell your car. Because even when I moved back from Wyoming, I only took 2 truckloads home because I came back in May for a wedding and I brought stuff back then because I already knew I was on my way out of Wyoming. And then, you know, once I finally moved in August, then I brought the rest of my stuff. But, you know, I gave away a lot of stuff. I sold a lot of stuff. You know, it's just stuff. You know, you can replace a couch or a futon. But, you know, because everyone's always like, oh, it's too expensive to move. You know, pretty much what it cost me to move to Wyoming was the gas in the truck. That's it. And then, you know, security deposit for rent. But you have to do that anywhere you go anyway. So, you know, if you're thinking about moving somewhere, do it. Just go and do it. You know, even if, you know, it's like, oh, yeah, I don't have enough money right now. Save up the money for the next couple months and go. Just go. Sell your stuff. You'll have money for gas, you know, or a bus ticket or something like that. Just, you know, stop waiting and just do it. Just go out and enjoy your life and, you know, just go find some random job. You know, they're always like, you know, like the first place I lived in Wyoming, they got so many random jobs you can do, like around the park, or, you know, if you just want to do something crazy, you know, there's jobs available, you know. And like out there, you don't need a lot of money to survive out there. Like the first place I lived, it was a 1-bedroom apartment. I paid $400 a month for it. $400 a month. Here, I live here and I'm paying almost double that for, you know, the same size apartment. So, you know, out west, it's dirt cheap to live out there. And it's so beautiful. Like the first place I lived, 50 miles from Yellowstone. 50 miles. Like, that's nothing. And, you know, you get to see so much great stuff. And like I said, if you're on the edge of thinking about moving somewhere, just do it. Make it happen. It's not that, you know, it doesn't have to be complicated. A lot of people think, oh yeah, you know, it's, you know, super complicated and all that. I pretty much, when I graduated from college, I was in Wyoming within 4 months. And that was because I was applying for jobs. I would have been there a lot sooner if I was just offered a job out there. But, you know, by the time I accepted the job offer to when I was there, it was less than a month. I flew out there with my father the week after I accepted the job to look for an apartment. And within 2 weeks after that, I was driving out there, and it took me like 4 or 5 days to get out there. So 1 month. Not even a month, because I accepted the job on like September 25th and I was out there on October 18th of 2012. So, yeah, I guess that's enough of this rambling. But like I said, if you have somewhere you want to move, do it, because you won't regret it. You know, you might fall on your face, but you have the stories to be able to say that, you know, you did it. So, like I said, anyone that is on the fence of wanting to go somewhere, you're going to regret more not doing it than to actually do it. So, like I said, I guess that's enough of this rambling today. So I'll check back with you guys tomorrow for Thirsty Thursday. All right, see ya.